Abandoned carts are one of the biggest revenue leakers in e-commerce, and today I'm going to break down a flow that's already reducing abandoned carts by 1 to 5% using personalized videos and personalized dynamic landing pages for your customers. So as some context, abandoned carts is a huge hole in the bucket. 70% of all e-commerce journeys end in abandonment, and we have solved this by having an email with a personalized video and a personalized landing page that dynamically fills with the information about their cart, and we can offer discounts or promos and get them back into the store to check out. And we've seen this reduce abandoned carts by 1 to 5%. And if you are looking to drive more sales for ecom, this is one of the key places for improvement because you are fixing the bucket. Like, yes, you can definitely go and spend more on ads and make your top of funnel stuff better creative, better content, this sort of thing. But you can also reduce the amount of holes in the bucket on the back end by reducing the amount of abandoned carts, which is going to mean that you get more money in ad spend, better ROI, this sort of thing. So yes, you can put more money into the bucket, but you can also make your mousetrap as efficient as possible. Essentially, when somebody lands on your website, how to make that as efficient as possible. So just to show you what this looks like. So imagine that you've built this beautiful looking Shopify store, right? And you've got some items in here. And let's say you add some to your cart, right? Add to cart. You can see I've already got one here. And then let's say you go to checkout. This will either get auto-populated or you're going to type in, some email address here. Okay. Right. And then what people will tend to do is they then tend to either close this tab or leave this tab, right? And so what you can see in Klaviyo is I'll just refresh this. You can see that this essentially has come in as an abandoned cart, okay? And so what we can do is we can build out automations that get the info from this abandoned cart and essentially build them a personalized landing page with personalized video in it. So I'll just show you an example of what this could look like. So here's an example for a different store. And essentially we said, hi Robert. So in this case, I'd say, hi Hawani, if it was our one. I've noticed that you're checking out on my protein, but didn't quite get to the finish line. So I recorded a quick video for you here. So it's going to look like this. Then they're going to click on it. And it's going to have whatever was in their basket is going to be talked about here. And then they've got essentially that in here as well. And then they can click return to cart. And then it's going to go back to where they were so that they can check out. So there's a whole lot of things that can be personalized here. You can send a whole lot of links. You can put in whatever you need to here to help get the sale across the line. And we can record them a little video.
Hey Robert, you have been selected as a lucky winner for our VIP program. What that means is you're going to get 10% off on your order. You're going to get a free protein shaker or t-shirt, plus you're going to get free.
So you can do whatever promotion you think makes the most sense here to get them back in. Or you don't even need to do a promotion because using words, seeing your face, you're going to build more trust and rapport with the prospects or customers. And so you're going to end up getting more sales that way. So just for some context, like how did we get here? So Eternal Collagen, this Paris Fury, they were essentially manually doing this through Sender, the product that I'm talking about, where they would manually populate all this information and then send it off to each abandoned cart one by one, and they were getting really good results. So we've essentially productized that playbook where it's like an easy integration now where you can just set it up and run it. But this was the store that this was first tested on, and I believe, don't quote me on this, there was around like £5,000 in abandoned cart purchases within like the first 30 days of trying this method, and now it should be way easier because it's automated. Okay, so what I want to do is just break down what is happening, and I'm going to do it on a Okay, so what I'm going to do is quickly just break down how this works. So essentially in Klaviyo, go Klaviyo trigger. So someone is on your store. They then go to the checkout and then they leave, right? That is going to essentially let Klaviyo know, like, hey, here's another abandoned cart, lead, prospect, client, customer, right? There's another abandoned cart. This is going to let Sender know to make the personalized page plus video, because it can pull all the information that we get here, what is in the cart, price point of the product in the cart. We can then use the email address to guess the first name. So if it's john.smith@hotmail.com, then it's going to know that John is the first name. It's going to send it to make this personalized video page. And then this content, this info, is then sent back to Klaviyo so it can be used in an email, and then automatically send email to. Okay, so that is essentially the flow. So there's going to be, Klaviyo is going to know when there's an abandoned cart because somebody has put in the information. It's either auto populated or they've put in the email there and then they have clicked off or left. And then this is going to essentially let sender know, hey, here's an abandoned cart. We need you to whip up one of these pages. And so we're going to be able to pull in those variables like what was in the cart, their name, this sort of thing, and make a page. We're going to send that page back to Klaviyo. And so when you're building out your automations, e.g. send abandoned carts an email an hour later saying, hey, you know, you forgot something, we can now use the variables that sender has sent over, this thumbnail, GIF and everything, and put it in that email, right? So that is the flow of logically what is going to be happening here. So far, we're seeing a minimum of 1% improvements on abandoned carts, and really we were seeing about 1 to 5%, but we are currently running a whole lot of tests so that we can get a far more accurate number here and a more accurate number across different industry segments. So just to let you know what this kind of looks like. So let's say we're looking at like a 1% abandonment cart rescue, right? Recovery. So let's say there's 100,000 monthly sessions, 5% add to cart. So let's say you get 5,000 carts and 70% of them get abandoned, which is the average number. And let's just assume it's $100 or £100 average order value. So a 1% improvement would make 35 recovered carts a month, which is about $3,500, okay, or 42K a year. So the sender costs, right, to do this is around $600, and so you would get an ROI of 6.3x or 630%, right, which means that it would pay for itself within 5 days. However, you can trial this for free for the first X amount of credits or videos. So there is a link below this, and I recommend you just giving it a go and seeing the improvement. And once you see the improvement, then you can commit to doing this and making your money back and improving that ROI. So I hope you got some value out of this video. I'm going to be making plenty more videos around this ecom use case because there's such a big opportunity here. So if you have any questions around how this could work, you can leave them below in the comments and I'll come back to you and answer you when I can. Cheers. Appreciate it. Peace.